guys, what's going on? It's Meshi from Path to Wellness with Meshi. Thank you so much for joining me here today on this beautiful snowy day. Today is the first day that it started to snow. If you are in Canada, you feel me. Some of you might actually be hating life because of this. I'm personally loving every second. It's an exciting time because to me, that tells me that we are now transitioning into winter. Awesomeness. Okay, as you can tell by the title, today we are going and diving deep into my October favorites, and these are actually one of my favorite videos to shoot. Well, they're all my favorites, but this one is especially lots of fun because it gives me a chance to not only reflect, but I actually get to share like what worked and anything that kind of didn't work. But I mainly wanted to focus on what's really working for the month of October, what was working for the month of October. So hopefully it will give you some inspiration, it will give you some insight, maybe you learn something, we will find out. But we will cover a little bit of everything. I'm going to go into some books that I've been loving for the past month, some beauty products, some home products, we have some crystals, and of course my favorite is the mindset shifts that took place in the last month. So if you are interested in checking out what was like the awesome sauce thing that has been working for the past month for me for the month of October, then just stay tuned and let's get started with the video. And quick reminder, you already know this, but I'm just going to remind you anyways. But if you are brand new here, then you maybe have no idea what I'm about to tell you. But in my channel, I generally post about 3 times a week now, and I talk to you a little bit about bullet journaling, about mindset shifts, about an eco living, about green beauty. So because I go into a few different topics, I find that some people have a difficult time sort of knowing when I'm going to be releasing what. And so what I have started to do is to kind of help you out at the end of each week. So my last video goes up on Saturday, and on Sunday you will receive in your mailbox a weekly roundup of all of the videos that I have released and some of the best takeaways from each video. Then that way you can kind of take a look if that topic would actually interest you or not. But I also include any special offers, behind the scenes footage, if there is any like potential discounts and things like that I'm going to be releasing for my upcoming online services. And also this is the place where you will find what's coming up for the following week. So if you wanted to get on that list, I left a link down in the description so you can sign up. It's completely free and it's complimentary because I wanted to help you out as you're my YouTube community. Okay, let's get started with the monthly favorites because we have a lot to cover. Let's go. Okay, let's get started first with books because generally those are usually like my favorites, and I'm always interested in finding out like what other people are reading, but more importantly, not so much that you're reading it or how far along you've come with your book, but I'm generally usually really interested just to find out like what was the best takeaway, because in that way I can kind of see if that book would be suitable for me or not. So for this month, I'm going to share with you 2 audiobooks and 2 physical books. And the 2 audiobooks, I have finished listening to them, and then the 2 physical books, I'm about halfway through with both of them, so we're getting there. But I wanted to just sort of share with you what were like the best takeaways from it. So let's get started first with the audiobook. So I'll just post it right here. So the first one I wanted to talk to you about is the book. Okay, it's from Jen Sincero. Okay, so the book is called You Are a Badass, and it's from Jen Sincero. You'll know which one it is. It's the yellow covered one, but I'll pop up a picture here. This book has been so much fun to read, especially if you're finding that you're new to spirituality, new to taking charge of your life, and you're just finding that you are feeling a little bit lost and you're just unsure how to sort of shift out of that state, and you wanted to shift into just taking more charge of like the decisions that you're making and how to really create a life that you can be proud of and you can be happy with, then this book would be right up your alley. She's not only hilarious and lots of fun, it's super easy listen. Well, you can read it too, but I listened. And the main takeaway for me with her book besides like the amazing stories that she shares, is that like you have to have faith. And when you have faith, at some point you're going to have to realize that things that are surrounding you, you have to lean into something that's greater than you so that you can receive the level of support that you're really looking for. And that sort of drove things home for me, because at first I thought it's because of her easygoing language, I didn't think that she would actually get into some of the more serious topics, but because it was such a highly recommended book, I really wanted to check it out and just sort of see for myself if it resonates. But I find that this book is excellent for people that are not really big readers. They're not reading or listening to audiobooks very often. They're just sort of starting their personal development journey, because it's sort of like, after listening to this, you will find that it will sort of shift you into taking more charge and taking more action for the decisions and for the goals that you have set out for yourself. She also goes into self-care and self-love and why it's very important that you should be on your own side, which I'm a huge advocate of if you have no idea, and reaffirm that mediocre is always available. So a lot of the decisions that I have been making in the past year, I can completely attest to that, because like, even though fear shows up in my life quite a bit, but I always sort of tell myself that like mediocre and the boring and what I've already done, it's always going to be available for me. And if you want something new, if you want something exciting, then you have to create those circumstances. And she sort of reaffirmed that. And the other thing was that I really loved about the book is that she also talks about vibration, being a vibrational match for what you want to manifest in your life. Well, first of all, you need to get clear on what you want to manifest, like what it is that you really want and why do you want it. And then she sort of shows you with different mindset shifts of how you can actually create that for yourself. So if you are brand new to personal development, I think that this would be right up your alley, because it just helps you shift a little bit faster. Next up was The Big Leap from Gay Hendricks. Gay Hendricks has many books out, and a lot of it, again, it's very spiritually driven, but his methods are, I find it again very easy to understand, very straightforward. He talks about the upper limit problems and why so many of us out there are limiting ourselves and how far and how big our potential is, mainly because of the upper limit problem. And he goes into far more detail than what I can provide you with, and I really don't want to butcher it for you, but the zest of it that I got out of it is that the reason why I might not be moving forward as fast or as efficiently as I would like to has to do with just being, some of us are scared of success. And I don't believe that I am scared of success, but I believe that I do need to shift and change in order for me to be able to be in alignment energetically and vibrationally with the things that I would like to manifest. So that was one of the biggest takeaways. Again, very easy listening book. If you're finding that you're new to personal growth, personal development, those two would be like one of my biggest recommendations for you. Now let's move on to physical books. So this is Kate Northrup's mom, and the book is called Making Life Easy, a simple guide to a divinely inspired life. So I'm about halfway done with this book, and it's a very spiritually driven book. Once again, if you're finding that you're new to spirituality, you're new to manifestation, understanding how the universe works, if you're not even sure like where your belief system is on the topic, or you just want to learn more about that, she is an excellent guide. She used to be an OBGYN, and then she shifted her medical practice to more of a private practice where she was sort of able to look at both body, mind, and soul, and she has developed quite a spiritual practice. So one of the biggest takeaways for me in that book is she goes into different physical practices such as tapping. She goes through like affirmations, prayer, how to connect with nature. So those are all amazing points that I absolutely loved. Now, one of the biggest things was that it really, again, just drove things home for me. And if you notice, we're up to 3 books here, and all 3 of them sort of had a really similar theme. She had like a little story in there where she talked about affirmations, and she said that I was saying my affirmations, and you know, I knew that I was creating my own reality with my thoughts, and I'm kind of sitting there like, yep, that's exactly how I feel. But then she talked about faith, and a big part of faith that most of us forget is that at some point you have to lean, and you have to lean into faith, and you allow the universe, you allow source to work on your behalf, which also means that you have to let go. And I sort of made it to a point where, yes, I understand it. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I still want to know. I want to know for sure. And I think a lot of us operate from that space as well, where yes, we believe, but we also want to make sure that we have the receipts so we can take it back. You know what I mean? So I really love the fact that she kind of goes through her own experiences, and she shows you why, like, why do you need to lean into faith, and why do you need to learn to let go? Because the more we grip, the harder it is for things to work on our behalf in a more organic way. And at that point, you're manifesting something completely different. And we have a choice. And she was also talking about a couple of near-death, like about people's experiences that have had near-death experiences, and once they came back to life, that how their lives changed, and some of them that could not let go of that control, how they still went back to their same reality as they did before their life near-death experience. So I thought that was really interesting. But again, going back to vibration and how we need to be a vibrational match, she touches on that as well, how when we're leaning into faith, it raises our vibration, and when we lean into fear, when we believe in our fears, then it actually lowers our vibration, which will end up controlling our thoughts and our actions. So interesting read. I think that you would enjoy this if you already have a spiritual practice, or you're already on that same, you're already in alignment where you're understanding, yes, there's a universe. Yes, there's something greater than me. Yes, I need to lean into faith. Now, how do I do that? Then this book would be right up your alley, where she just kind of goes through different practices that you can, you know, just plug into your daily life, and then that can kind of help you connect more. And last but not least, we have Sacred Powers. So clearly the month of October was a very spiritual month for me. So Sacred Powers is written by David G. This guy, I mean, what can I say about him? If you look at a picture of him in the back, I will link his Instagram account in the description so you can take a look. But basically, it's like a friendly Santa Claus who is completely awoke, and he's got like a cute little dog right on his lap. And if you look on his Instagram account, he's got that dog, like there's pictures of him everywhere. So not why I'm loving the book though. I picked up this book. It was actually in the meditation section at Chapters, so go figure. And I was going to pick up another book from, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to just pop up a picture, but it was with the Dalai Lama and with Ketut. Remember Ketut and from Eat, Pray, Love? You know, when Julia Roberts, or really like it was Elizabeth Gilbert, when she went on that trip and she went to Bali and she was meeting the medicine man. Okay, well, there is an exclusive of him with the Dalai Lama, and then there's a book that's written. So that's, I'm not saying it's coming up this month, but maybe it is. I'm just saying. But I had the two books in my hand, and this was just drawing me in. I don't know why, but it's called The Sacred Powers and the 5 Secrets to Awakening Transformation. Now, again, I'm about halfway through with this guy as well, but here's why I love it. He was talking about the power of the ripple, and the power of the ripple essentially goes back to like all of our relationships and how many things that we affect and how we affect it. And sometimes, most of the time, like I tend to forget that how big of an impact, how big of a ripple our actions, my actions, and the things that I say, the things that I think, the way that I impact people have, even after that interaction is done, or after that project is done, or after that whatever that connection was for the time being. We sort of forget because we get stuck in our own little world, and then the only thing that we think of is that, like, you know, what are we doing? What am I doing? Like, how am I feeling? How me, versus, like, he sort of reminds me that there's so much more. And the moment that you realize that there's so much more, then things can sort of We were talking about the power of the ripple, which I thought was very interesting. But then the other thing that he was talking about is that, and if you remember, you will probably remember, I mentioned this in my intention setting video in the new moon rituals briefly, that everything is energy. So get this, he actually affirms that. So he was talking about how there's energy that's happening around us, and that the way that he talks about it is that there's energy around us, and also there's energy in our bodies, and that energy can be felt with the water that we take in, with the foods that we take in, with our thoughts, with the words that we say. That's all energy. And in that, he was actually quoting Albert Einstein, where energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. And you probably have heard this before, but you might not understand like really what that means. But all that means is that we always have the option to really change our energy and to change our vibrational level just based on the things that we think, the things that we say, our desires, our, like, basically the way that we're managing our internal and external world. Like, the energy can be impacted by our choices, by our body language, and by the messages that we actually send out into the world. And I've heard this before, and if you remember, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but I think it relates. Do you remember with Jim Carrey, Bruce Almighty, when he wanted to become God, and then he meets God, and God tells him that, you know, everybody asks for a miracle, but in order for you, like, stop asking for a miracle and be one. And I like that still, like, it still gives me goosebumps. But really it just goes back to, like, if you want to see change in the world, that it starts with you. Because then when you transform your thoughts, and when you transform the way that you conduct your life, and the way that you live, and the way that you carry yourself, then that transforms everything and everybody around you. Maybe not long term, but at least for the time being, while you still have that impact on the people that are around you. That's all for books. Moving on to beauty. So if you're looking to pick this up, like, you can buy this at any bookstore, but honestly, highly recommend it because it's very, very intentional and it's very well written. So good job. Meditation Santa Claus. I don't know why I'm calling Santa Claus. When you see a picture of him, you'll totally get it, but he's amazing. Moving on to beauty. So yes, the beauty video, I have promised it to you, and it is coming. I think that I'm going to be releasing it actually early next week, where I will kind of show you like the lowdown of all of the beauty products, the new organic beauty products that I have been working with and whatnot. But for today, I thought that I will just share with you just a few of them. So let's start first with skincare. So for the month of October, I've been trying out the Pi Chamomile Rosehip Calming Day Cream. So this has been wonderful, especially in the mornings. You can use this as a primer if you want, really. Very calming, very soothing. I've been finding that it's not very drying, but it absorbs very quickly. And Pi is, it's vegan. They don't test on animals. If you check Pi as a company, they are like 0 on a toxicity scale. So I've been loving that. And I honestly, I just wanted to try out a little, sort of like a little sample. It's more like a deluxe size sample, basically. But I really, really like it. So there you go. Next up is, you probably seen this, me posting about this briefly on Instagram when I picked this up. So this is from Elate. Elate is a company out in BC in Canada. So they are local. And again, like, they have basically, the packaging is made out of bamboo. I will be going more into detail in the full review and the green beauty product review. But the mascara, so nice. Like, I'm wearing it on my eyes today, and Usually you need at least 2 coats for you to build up the volume, but it lengthens and volumizes, and honestly I've been really happy with it. And just the fact that it's non-toxic and the packaging is biodegradable, it's like big thumbs up for me. Next up, I wanted to show you, you know what, we'll just go right into this. So I wanted to show you the RMS palette. You probably seen me talk about this in my previous favorites, but I actually picked up another little palette from them. So this is called the Signature Set Mod Collection. So I showed you the Pop collection before. So this is what it looks like. Again, you get a little lip balm, two lip to cheek products, so they're blushes, and then here it's a little bit different. You actually get 2 different highlighters. Now this is what I'm wearing today, just right on my cheeks, and oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It gives you that wet look. The main ingredient in all of these is coconut oil, but here's what I like. The lip balm is actually cocoa butter. These two, you can mix them together and they look very pretty. Like you can just wear those on their own and it gives you that nice glow. And I've just been very happy with it so far. So far it's working out, and it's, again, non-toxic. The other thing that I also picked up from RMS Beauty is their eyeshadow. So this is like a rose gold eyeshadow. I will pop in a little swatch so that you can kind of take a look at the close-up. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. It's very pretty. For the fall, I've been finding that I'm really drawn to like the dusty rose colors, so it's very nice. And I wasn't sure about this guy, but it's actually made it into my monthly favorites. This is from Ilia. It's their MultiStick. So this is what it looks like. It just kind of looks like a lipstick basically, and then you can just kind of roll it up and then off you go. I didn't care for this at first. Like, I cared for this, but I didn't. It just kind of looked like Your Lips but better color. I'm actually wearing it on my lips. It looks beautiful on the lips. It gives you a little flush of color on the cheeks. It's not as hydrated as the ones from RMS Beauty, which means that it doesn't have as much coconut oil in it. I don't believe this guy has coconut oil. They're also from BC. They're also local to Canada, and newer company. I love this. It is so pretty, especially on the lips. And again, like a multitasking product like this, you just can't go wrong. So loving this, love it. Okay, now moving on to home products. I have a couple of teas to show you. I kind of destroyed the box, but this is what I have in my teacup right now. This is from Higher Living Organic. It's a strawberry watermelon. I mean, like, that's, I'm just gonna stop talking right there. It's a strawberry watermelon tea. Everything is biodegradable. The packaging, the bag, and the tea, obviously. It's an organic tea. I believe it's a chamomile naturally strawberry flavored tea. It tastes wonderful. It tastes like a little bite of summer. So if you want to pick this up, I grabbed this at Goodness Me. So if you have a Goodness Me around you, then that might be your best bet. And then the other one that I wanted to show you is from Organic Tree. So this is their turmeric chai tea. And again, certified organic, biodegradable, tastes amazing. If you like chai tea, like for the fall, I've been loving chai tea. So, you know, like I can't go there. And I wanted to show you this. You've probably seen this again in my intention setting video, and some of you have asked me like what kind of incense I use. So I use the Maroma brand from Incense, and this one is in cinnamon orange. And oh my gosh, you guys, like once you start burning this, you only need to burn a little bit. I can't burn like an entire stick. It's way too much. You get, how many you get here? I don't even know. You get 10 incense sticks, but honestly, it'll last you for like months and months and months. Let's talk about crystals. Oh, and before we move on to crystals, I wanted to show you this little kit that I picked up, and I will do actually like a full series about this, but I just wanted to show you some straws. So this is, there's how many? There's a 6-pack of straws that you can get right now. They have this available at Bulk Barn, where there's like a little holder, and you also get like a little cleaner. So here's like a little brush, and then you can kind of clean that out. But I picked this up because we have birthdays coming up, and I'm really looking to just create some changes in our home where we're using a little bit more sustainable products, and straws are definitely one of those things where if you have children, then you're going to be going through a ton of straws when you're outside of your home. So I will be creating a separate like eco switches that you can create that just makes it a little bit more easier on you if you're interested. Okay, let's move on to crystals. Crystals are absolutely my favorites, obviously. So let's start talking about clear quartz. So this is a clear quartz piece. It's like a tumbled piece that I have that I've been loving for the past month. And the reason why I love this, I've been using clear quartz, especially that it's like, it's big enough that it can just kind of fits into your hand. I mainly been using this during my meditation practice, which I've been absolutely loving. Clear quartz, it's basically known as a master healer. It instills wisdom, clarity, and healing, and it draws off negative energy. And generally, I just kind of base my decisions on which crystals I'm going to be talking about by energy and also by whatever I'm gravitated towards. But I've been gravitating towards this guy more than once. So I use this in my meditation practice. I use this with intention setting, and any time that I need to sort of feel more grounded, then this is perfect for that. And then the next one that I've been using quite a bit is this guy. And this is Tourmaline. So Tourmaline is, again, this is like a size of like that you can use this for like an altar offering. And it's, again, it helps purify energy, like it helps you ward off negativity. And when I was doing some research and reading up on it, it's actually recommended for people that work one-on-one with people. So if you're a hairdresser, if you're a therapist, if you're a massage therapist, I'm just saying, go figure. Like, I've been drawn to this, and in my treatment room, I actually have a larger piece, but every time that I go into, like, you know, an area where there's a lot of people, I usually have this with me, and it just helps me just reground and just really just keep my own energy in check. So I've been loving this. And honestly, like I'm always so drawn to this, like it's so beautiful. And the last one that I wanted to talk to you about is an amethyst. So here I have like a little cluster amethyst piece. And amethyst is basically a protective stone. It also helps you with spiritual awareness. I've been using this just right by my bedside, but also I've been using this during meditation. It helps you get clear, get centered, helps you connect to something greater than you. And it also helps with relieve stress, with strain. It also helps you soothe irritability. So it's a very calming stone. So I've been, you know, completely drawn to this. So these are the 3 crystals that I've been loving. Now let's move on to mindset shifts. So, because you can buy all the things and you can get all the stuff and you can get all the makeup, but until you really take on some shifts and you allow that shift to take place, then I always sort of feel like it's all just for show. Again, it's just, it goes back into the consumerism. Here's a couple of things that have shifted for me in October. Well, one of it, you probably already noticed that there's more videos from me in end of October moving into November. One of the things that have really worked for me is reframing. And reframing, just whenever there's like a negative thing that's happening, I've been working on just really reframing it and looking at the opportunity in it and what it's actually trying to teach me, because I know that I'm supposed to be experiencing it, and I know that I'm supposed to go through it, and I find my way through it. So that was one thing that has definitely helped me a lot. And also just making commitments. I realized that I would commit, but I wouldn't commit fully. And I would constantly wait for like a sign that would come that would sort of tell me like, yep, here you go, now you can go, it's a green light. And once I sort of understood that that sign is not really going to come, because the only way that you will see the signs is through doing, not through talking about it. So that has been working really well, and also just asking more specific questions. So I realized that whenever I would talk about something and I would say or I would complain about something, my questions were not specific enough, which means that I could not really manifest the things, or I really could not manifest those goals that I was really trying to work towards, because my questions were really vague. Like, why is this not working? Why am I not shifting towards that? Why am I not meeting the people? Well, really, once I started asking more specific questions, then I realized that, oh, well, actually, like I'm in, well, for one, I'm in full control. So I need to get better at asking questions and then creating a plan towards me manifesting the thing that I want, or the people that I would like to meet, or the opportunities, or just the way that I want to feel. Like, I need to actively work to really create those experiences for myself, because, you know, as I mentioned earlier, and this was mentioned in the book from Christiane Northrup, where she mentioned that too, where I was saying my affirmations and I understood that, you know, like this is all coming, but at the same time, you know, at some point, you sort of have to get really good at just creating everything around you by design. And also just checking how I feel. I haven't really been doing that, but for the month of October, I really made a commitment to just really just check in and, okay, how are you actually feeling when you're doing the thing? Because I would achieve a goal and I would not be happy about it, or I would be happy, but I would not be fulfilled. And I think Tony Robbins was the one that said that achievement without fulfillment is actually failure. So I've been really applying that to my life, and I'm continuing to do so. Like, it's not something, even though this video is a monthly favorites, but these concepts that I'm telling you about are going to be something that I'm going to practice every single day. It's a lifelong process. It's just, I learn some of these things faster, and then I can move on and I can, you know, reach my next step and my next stepping stone. And then I also went back and I started re-listening to, I have a book, it's called Essentialism, and within that, it's just a friendly reminder. Like, sometimes I like to re-listen to certain books when I know that those are the things that I really need to hear, and it's just focusing on what truly matters, and then just let go of the rest, where you're not so focused on everything and trying to be everything and trying to be everywhere. And when I realized that, okay, like, what is my main thing? What is the thing that's going to make the highest contribution to the most amount of people possible? And when I can zoom in and I can get crystal clear, my aim was more precise, I was able to actually pick up momentum, because then I wasn't focusing on 10 different things. I wasn't trying to manifest 10 different things, 10 different projects. I was only focusing on one at a time, finish it, move on to the next, move on to the next. So that was my big takeaway from it. And I hope that you find some information that was helpful in today's video, because this is all I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you liked it. If you did, you can hit the thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe so you don't miss a video. There's a bell right next to it that will give you any notifications whenever I release a new video. I do have, as a friendly reminder, I do have the weekly roundup videos that you can sign up for free, and it's completely complimentary, where I share with you each week the videos and the best takeaways from each of my videos, so that you don't miss a beat, and in case you missed it, and also what's going to be released for the following week. So the link for that is down in the description. And in the meanwhile, just keep seeking, wellness seekers, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.
Okay. Hey guys, oh my goodness, get it right. I will be showing you at the end of the month, at the end of the video, like when I'm going to be releasing new videos, but as I mentioned before, oh, don't say that, that's yuck. I do have from, oh my goodness, what is your name? What's it? We'll check right now. Because when you don't know, now you know. I love how we're wasting footage on this right now. Okay, there's so much more than things can sort of ship. That was fun. I highly recommend doing this.